Do you feel hangry if you don't eat for a couple of hours? Do you feel shaky if you miss a meal? Are you someone who always has to have snacks on hand? If this sounds like you, then unfortunately, you are likely a sugar burner, meaning your body is having to constantly rely on sugar for energy. Now hold on a second, there is good news here. You are able to break out of the sugar dependency cycle. You do this by training your body to burn fat for energy more efficiently. And this is both the fat we get from our food, such as avocados and butter, but also our stored body fat. And becoming fat adapted is easier than you think. Here are 5 steps to get you there. Number 5 is to eat your breakfast an hour later. So our bodies are always in one of 2 states. We are always in a fasted state or a fed state. After we eat, we're going to be in a fed state. Fat burning is on hold, and fat storing goes up. Once our body has completely digested and processed our last meal, then we switch over to a fasted state, and our bodies go into fat burning mode instead. Now, if you're eating every couple of hours from the time you wake up in the morning until right before you go to bed, you're always going to be in a fed state. You're not going to switch over to a fasted state until you've been asleep for at least a few hours. And when you spend most of your time in a fed state, you're mainly relying on glucose for energy. And when you're mainly relying on glucose for energy and barely burning any fat, this is what leads to metabolic inflexibility in the first place. The more time you can spend in a fasted state, the better your body is going to get at burning fat for energy, and the more metabolically flexible you will become. And metabolic flexibility just means you're able to switch between burning glucose or carbohydrates and fat for energy pretty easily. Now, when you push your breakfast back an hour or maybe 2 hours in the morning, this is a version of intermittent fasting. And I promise you, intermittent fasting doesn't have to be as extreme as some people make it out to be. Intermittent fasting just means you have a time period every day where you're eating and a time period every day when you're fasting. So the average person, they wake up in the morning, maybe they wake up at about 7 o'clock and they eat breakfast almost immediately. Then they have a snack mid-morning, they have lunch, they have another snack, they have dinner, and then maybe some chocolate or a little bit of a dessert before bed, at which point it's 10 or 11 p.m. So they have basically been eating from 7 a.m. till 10 p.m., which is a huge chunk of the day. Now, when you push your breakfast back an hour or 2, so if you were eating it at 7, if you have it at 8 or 9 instead, and if you try to stop eating a little bit earlier in the evening, you're gonna make your feeding window a lot shorter and your fasting window bigger. Your body is going to get more efficient. Your body is going to get better at burning fat for energy. Number 4, take a walk. When we do low intensity aerobic exercise such as walking, this type of exercise is mainly fueled by fat. Now, doing this type of exercise at a low intensity is key here. You want to keep your heart rate in zone 2 or lower. You shouldn't feel out of breath. You should be able to keep your mouth shut during your walk. If you're breathing too heavily, then your intensity is too high. You need to slow it down a bit because that's when you're gonna get the most benefits in being able to burn fat efficiently. Number 3, reduce carbs. This is one of the most important things you can do. Carbohydrates are our other fuel source aside from fat. Our bodies switch over to burning fat for energy when carbohydrates are restricted in the diet. Now, you don't need to cut them out entirely. If you've already incorporated some intermittent fasting, then this is gonna help a lot as well. But reducing carbs where you can, skipping the bread, using low carb alternatives, this is gonna make a big difference. Number 2, increase fat. Now, when you reduce carbohydrates in your diet, you really need to make sure that you increase the fat. So this means cooking with lots of healthy fat. Don't fear the fat. Use coconut oil, grass-fed butter, ghee. If you're cooking something at a lower temperature, you can use olive oil or avocado oil. These are all great options. Make sure to add healthy fats to your meals. So this is things like avocados, like cheese, olives. Don't trim the fat off your meat. Don't buy your chicken skinless. These are all healthy fats. And if you really want to take it one step further, you can start adding MCT oil into your diet. MCTs are a specific type of fat that is metabolized differently by the body than other types of fat are. So when we ingest them, they are more easily converted to ketones for energy than other types of fat. And of course, this promotes fat metabolism even more. Number 2, supplement. Supplementing can be a very useful tool, especially if you're just getting started with becoming fat adapted. If you're having cravings, for example, L-glutamine is an amino acid that's been scientifically proven to reduce hunger and cravings. Another supplement that can be really helpful when you're first starting out is exogenous ketones. Ketones are a byproduct of fat metabolism. They are created when we are burning fat for energy. A lot of the benefits that come from being fat adapted are because of ketones. They increase energy, they improve focus, they can improve endurance performance, and they can also support weight loss. When you become fat adapted, you can actually measure the amount of ketones in your blood using a ketone meter. But the initial transition from using mainly glucose for energy into being able to use fat more efficiently can be tough. Your body isn't used to it. Sometimes when people first start out, they can feel weak, they can feel tired. Basically, they're just very fatigued, they get headaches. And this is where exogenous ketones can come in. Exogenous ketones are ketones that come from outside of the body, aka we ingest them. And when they do, they provide an alternate fuel source for the body, even if our glycogen stores have not been depleted. And this can make the transition to becoming fat adapted so much easier. Personally, I only use ketones from HVMN. The form that these ketones come in is more effective and more long-lasting than ketones you can buy in powder form, which is what most options on the market currently are. Ketone IQ from HVMN is a liquid form, it's ketone dial. I take half a bottle of this, sometimes a full bottle of this when I'm intermittent fasting, when I have a lot of work to get done and I really want to focus, and before my endurance workouts. If you want to check out HVMN, you can head to hvmn.com/Kait, that's Kait, and when you sign up through that link, you can save 30% off your first subscription. And don't be scared off by the word subscription. You can pause or cancel it at any time. And they also have a 60-day money-back guarantee. So if you're curious about ketones, if you're just thinking about starting to try to become fat adapted, give them a try. And finally, number 1 is to prioritize sleep. Now, I saved this tip for last, but it's arguably the most important. If you're not getting proper sleep near consistently, it's going to be close to impossible to become fat adapted. Even after just one night of poor sleep, hormones that impact our metabolism are thrown totally out of whack. The following day, our insulin is going to be elevated, meaning we're going to be storing more fat instead of burning it. Of course, this is absolutely not ideal if you're trying to become fat adapted. We want to keep insulin low. That is the key here. So if you're not getting good quality sleep on a consistent basis, this really is where you need to start putting your focus. I have so many videos on how to improve your sleep on my channel. I actually just posted one a few days ago, so I'll link that above if you want to know more. Anyways, guys, that's all I have for you today. If you have already become fat adapted, let me know in the comment section down below what you did to get there and any barriers or struggles that you faced. I love chatting with you guys in the comment section and learning from you, hearing your experiences. So anything you want to share in the comments down below, go for it. And also before you go, don't forget to check out HVMN. I'll put the link in the description box down below. Thanks guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.